So in my opinion, they just need to get that unique value proposition immediately within the first 10 seconds. So a browser that doesn't just meet your needs, it anticipates them. No more ads or trackers. We include an ad blocker so you don't need to worry about invasive trackers. Hello friends, so I've just been recommended a video by the algorithm, and quite an interesting video here. So the YouTube channel is called The Browser Company. That's the actual company behind the video. Behind the video, there's a product which is called Arc Browser. I'll leave the video link in the summary section below. Let's go through understanding what the browser actually does together. So let's go through their website. I'm going to install the web browser itself. But the pitch of this new browser is essentially it's the browser that browses for you. And obviously I've seen the 14-minute video, so I have a bit more context behind it, but it will be my first time installing it and using it. So let's see if it's a browser that I can potentially transition into, or at the very least, let's experiment and see what it has to offer. Okay, so I am on their main website. Let's go through it together. So it looks like they have an iOS version out. The web browser is called Arc, the Chrome replacement I've been waiting for, The Verge. Okay, that's a big claim. So I have downloaded Arc already, but let's go through their landing page. A lot of social proof there, which is good. I'm seeing a lot more websites have this very almost cartoony look to it. It's very bright, very colorful. So they're jumping on that trend. So a browser that doesn't just meet your needs, it anticipates them. Okay, that's an interesting claim. We'll see about that. Space for the different sides of you. So this, I'll have an understanding what this is. This is basically your grouped tabs or your pinned tabs or bookmarks, I'm assuming. Browser, okay. Right, so there's a lot of social proof and they're relying on that. So I won't go through any other link here. It looks like it's Apple exclusive at the moment. If you're wondering why do a lot of apps and software seem to be Apple exclusive, and it's, from my understanding, from what developers tell me, it's just a lot easier to build on Apple products. Hence, there's a lot more Apple exclusive softwares out there than for Windows. But I believe they're releasing a Windows version fairly soon. Subscribe to their channel, which is called The Browser Company. Again, you can check them out. They have quite a few interesting videos here. It looks like the founder, I think his name's Joshua, he's very much leading the promotion of the product, which is great because he looks very passionate about it. And he's looking to be a challenger brand against Google Chrome more specifically. Let's jump on the product itself. So Arc, where are you? Arc, let's go through Arc. Okay, see this? Meet the internet again. Okay, I can't full screen this for some reason. Okay, so I'll quickly create an account. I'm using my Stream Deck, so I don't have to type this out. Okay, right, create account. Can we now maximize this? Still can't. Minimize this. Okay, get us up speed. It's a bold new internet. Hit the ground running and bring your most important tabs, password, history, and bookmarks with you. 78% of people import from their X browser too. Okay, so there's an import of some sort. I don't know if I trust that, to be honest. I barely know about the company. Let's not do that for now. Just to be safe, on the safer side, I'm happy to type in my passwords again. Next, choose the apps you most use. Okay, Gmail for sure, calendar, YouTube, Slack. Okay, that's interesting. Let's click on next. We can customize the theme. Okay, let's go with orange. That's our main brand color. That looks good. That's a good orange. No more ads or trackers. We include an ad blocker so you don't need to worry about invasive trackers. Okay, interesting. If there's no ads, I would like to know how they monetize. How do they monetize? Okay, let's do yes. Go steady with Arc. Make Arc your default browser so links. Not yet. You have to win me over first. Okay, so we've gone through that onboarding process, which is a new thing for web browsers. I think onboarding and user experience is so important when you're adopting a new software. It was a pretty easy onboarding process, very gamified. And it looks like they're targeting millennials, Gen Z here, in my opinion. So those are the people who are usually early tech adopters. They're right on the mark in terms of visuals, in my opinion, for the majority of it. It makes a lot of sense. Okay, so I can finally maximize this. All right, let's see. Okay, so these are bookmarks. If I click on Slack, it'll probably ask me to log in. If I go back, how do I go back to the previous page? Is it here? Okay, so pin tabs are saved for later. So these are called tabs, which makes a lot of sense. There's a folder. Okay, you can do that. Multitask split view. Okay, this is cool. So you can essentially have two tabs open and have them filled the screen both at the same time rather than having two different windows, which is very useful. As a marketer, we usually have 10 different tabs we want to needing to be opened at the same time. For developers, that might be useful as well, right? Or when you're researching, open your first tab. Okay, let's do that. Search or enter URL. Okay, let's put in one of my websites. Let's see what happens. Okay, standard browser. So let's search for something, because so just for context, the hook or this unique value proposition of Arc, the Arc browser, is that it searches for you. So what's the tagline here? The browser that browses for you. You can get multiple searches within one search. So it saves you time. And behind it, it essentially uses a large language model, or an LLM, to make that happen. So it combines the aspects of a web browser, combination of multiple web pages, and a search engine within one platform or one web browser powered by AI. Let's actually do that. So let's say my question is, what are the best films for a marketer in the year 2023? So that's a very modern intent search, I think. Okay, so it just goes to a Google search. I thought it was gonna browse for me. Okay, so let's request something instead. What would you recommend reading as a fan of fiction books from the 90s? Press enter. Okay, that's interesting. So it's basically just a Google search, and there's a different wrapper around it. I'm sure there's different features here, pinning tabs, which you can technically do in Chrome. You can group tabs. If I go back to my Chrome, you can see I've got group tabs here, color-coded. One's for operations, one's for when I'm doing marketing, one's for sales. So that's interesting. So space one, how do I create a new space? New folder. Okay, so in your space, you'd have multiple folders. So maybe one could be work and basics. So let's explore this real quick. Let's do new folder. One is for work. Let's say one is for personal. And then if we go back to the search, how do I bookmark this? Is there any file, edit? Okay, I know bookmark in Chrome is Command D. So let me try that. Let's see if that works. Okay, it does work. So it's bookmarked it. I'll put it to work. And then personal, let's just imagine I'm going to LinkedIn. Obviously, I'm not logged in here. I can just drag this here. I can collapse these, can I? Okay, cool. All right, so I think this is going to be more of a preference from, when you're using the browser, it's more of a preference-based thing. I believe there needs to be a lot more unique value propositions for someone to transition or adopt it fully. So from what I'm getting is some of these features are already within Chrome. I don't know, it says that it does the search for you, but it doesn't do that. I'm not quite sure if I'm just doing it incorrectly. So the introductory video that they had mentioned a specific intent. So show me the unveiling of the iPhone, of the first iPhone. Okay, that's a bit disappointing. It's just a Google search. It doesn't really browse for me. I don't want to leave it a bad review because the explainer video that they had was really well done. It was really well shot, and I'm sure there's a really strong marketing team behind it. But in terms of the proposition, it's not really working as promised in the video, which is a bit of a shame. But let's see, let me just do it one last time. Research the best books on digital marketing. Okay, maybe I'm just using it incorrectly, but it looks like a standard browser that's searching for is still powered by Google. So let's close off. The marketing aspect's very strong. I'm sure the product is still very early stages. I think they probably need a lot more feedback loop from users, especially marketers and early tech adopters. But they've sold it very well. Initial experience, I wouldn't necessarily transition from Chrome, maybe because I've used Chrome for years. I really know it at the back, like the back of my hand. I like the onboarding process. It's very seamless, very smooth. I think they need to highlight the unique value propositions a lot more in terms of the main one, which is the fact that it browses for you, but didn't really do that for me. I don't know if I've just not done it. If we go back to the getting started aspect. Okay, let's say learn essential shortcuts. View all, copy URL. So in my opinion, they just need to get that unique value proposition immediately within the first 10 seconds. I do love the onboarding. It's very smooth, but the actual value proposition, I haven't experienced, and I'm at least 5-10 minutes into it. I'm sure the browser will evolve as it goes on, as you get more feedback. I think just to close off the video, it's going to be interesting how you've got a lot more companies wanting to be essentially challenger brands for big tech companies. I think with the power of AI There is going to be a lot of changes happening in the way that we experience the internet. And this is obviously one of the outputs of that concept. The challenge for these smaller companies, it's obviously being able to beat big tech companies when they have larger teams. One of the positives of being a small, nimble team is the flexibility and the speed. So if they focus on that, they focus on the feedback loop mechanism. So being able to receive feedback from their users to essentially build a product that their users love fast, then that adoption phase becomes a lot more seamless. There's a lot less friction points. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, I highly encourage you to subscribe. Till next time, peace.